and welcome to Tarot Sherpa. I'm Christine, and today I will be doing a reading from the Runic Tarot, written by Jamie Elford, illustrated by Jack Sephiroth, and researched by Alan Dempster. So I'm going to use a spread that is in the accompanying guidebook, Runic Tarot, and this is going to be the Odin's Insight spread. So it's not a huge spread, but I think we're going to get some good insight from the All-Father. We've already got some cards jumping out, so maybe we're just going to, thank you, All-Father, we have our cards laid out for us. Let's switch cameras here. I don't think Odin really wanted us to hang out shuffling all day. Okay, so here's the spread. We have past, present, future, and action. Action is what are we going to do if we don't particularly like this sort of future? So, let's take a look at this piece by piece, looking at the past. Now, the past here is the Chariot in reverse. The rune there on the front of the Chariot is Kenaz, which means light or torch. And that's usually meaning like proceeding forth with inspiration, power. Just think of all the things that light brings to our lives, like heat, motion, activity, awareness. And it can even have spiritual connotations. You know, somebody says, I saw the light. Connection with the divine. I like that they use cats here. I'm amused by that. Cats in the Chariot. Thank you for that, Jack. I like it. And so we have our Valkyrie warrior here, but it's in reverse. So when we think about things in reverse, or at least when I use cards in reverse, how is this stuck or stalled? So the Chariot's usually a lot of willpower. And as we talked about with Kenaz, moving forward, moving in the light. Well, if we're lacking willpower, means there's some sort of sense of procrastination. Either we're stuck because we want to be stuck, because we've stuck ourselves in a spot, or there are other forces at play that are thwarting progress forward. So something in the past has been thwarting progress. Either self-sabotage or somebody else has not wanted you to go forward. It can also mean that the divine has wanted you to be in a holding pattern. It's not time to proceed yet. Okay, well, why isn't it time to proceed? Or why wasn't it? What's going on in the present? And we've got a particularly grim Three of Swords here. If you look here, we've got a warrior about to be executed above the symbol of Daggaz. And I think the symbol here is telling him he's about to go meet his maker. So in the reverse, we're thinking about this as being a construct of your own thinking. And you're experiencing a certain amount of fatalism. Now, is the fatalism that you're experiencing, is this a result of feeling stuck with this inverted Chariot? Or is the Chariot inverted because you're fatalist? It's a little bit of a chicken and egg question. Did this cause this? Does your current mindset cause how you perceive your past? Or has the sense of being stuck in the past making you feel like you are doomed in the present? So that's an internal question for you. And depending on the you that is tapping into this reading, it could be different answers for different people. But yeah, an inverted Chariot and a Three of Swords is definitely a very mentally harsh place to be. Remembering that swords are mental. It's not necessarily physical. Nobody is actually going to execute you. But it feels like that in your head. Future, though. The future presents options. So over the Seven of Cups or the Seven of Horns, And there is a newborn child here. And this child represents you, but it represents all of the options that this child could possibly experience. So, yes, in the present, this seems very grim. But let's look at this as there is an ending, and it's an ending in the middle of your story. There are several cards, particularly those in the Suit of Swords, that indicate endings. The most pronounced of which is the Ten of Swords, where it's usually a body pierced by 10 swords, and one gets the idea that this person has been betrayed, and whatever has happened, it's very definitely over. That's not so much with the Three of Swords, although once the headsman's axe falls, it will definitely be over. But this is a 3. It's in the middle of the line of numbers. It's in the middle. It's actually at the top of the Tree of Life. So there's still a lot further to go. So this is a temporary setback. This is a temporary situation. This isn't the final say. This is something that will pass eventually. You get to control that eventually. How quickly do you want it to pass? How are you going to face this discomfort, this disquiet, make peace with it, and be able to move on? So we're going to move on here to our beautiful Seven of Cups. Now, a lot of times Seven of Cups can mean distractions. It can mean failure to make a decision. However, this little new start here, this little new you, the person that has recovered from this grim situation, will open your eyes, and you will find that you have a variety of choices of how you want to proceed, a variety of abundance and options. One of the little tokens, let's say, in this horn is the rune of Thorsatz. And that I would give you as a note of caution, because it also means thorn. And while it can also mean pure potential and power, one has to recognize that there are consequences to that power. The rose has a thorn. Beautiful rose, sharp thorn. So as you're making choices, realize that many of these have consequences. So how do you make a good choice? Because the future is yours. Once you're clear of this, you have all of these beautiful options. So that comes to our action card. This is not a bad place to be, but what do you do with it? Here's our action. And our action is the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is usually protective. It's something that is, I'll say, conservative in that it's going to hold its position. Whatever that position is, it's going to hold fast to it. Now, I'm not saying hold fast to the pain. I don't think that's where this is going. I think this is saying to be true to yourself. So as you're confronted with all of these options, the important thing is to remember who you are on the inside, and therefore you will be able to make an appropriate choice for you. Because people are going to present you with a lot of options. This is a good idea. This is a good idea. This is a good idea. Try this, try this, try this. Now that you're back into the circulation of life, and they're all very well-meaning, and they're, none of these choices are particularly bad. You just have to remember there's consequences to each one of them. And so I believe this Nine of Wands is cautioning you to take a step back. There's lagus down here that go with the flow. Let's see. That could be... It could be haglas, meaning that there is danger involved. So, definitely taking into consideration the Nine of Wands. The background here, or Skuld's net, is an indicator of destiny. So, looking at the Nine of Wands, you've got to look for your own destiny. And while it may be one of these options that are, given by well-meaning friends, colleagues, family, individuals, what you have to do is be on the lookout for what is your destiny. What is right for you? Yeah. Good advice in any case, whether it's a work situation, a family situation, relationships. Could definitely have something to do with relationships, with the amount of cups over here and the general heartache of this particular sword card. But getting back to yourself, getting back to who you are and what you want in your life, and what you don't want in your life. And moving on can be very difficult. It takes a lot of focus. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of trust in the divine to be able to proceed. So, very interesting, starting from a place of really feeling stuck to feeling perhaps even betrayed, captured and executed. And then going into just so many options, and what do you choose? You choose the things that are right for you. Because it's your choice. It's not anybody else's choice. But the choices are out there, and you've got a fresh start, and that's great. That's great. Just use it to your benefit, and don't get wrapped back up into the same thing that got you into this place to begin with. It's really hard to overcome old patterns. And perhaps taking a little time out and figuring out what you really want and not what you don't want. Don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive. Focus on what you want. Then you will be able to proceed forward. Then you will be able to move on in wholeness and not in a sense of despair or loss. So, thank you, All Father, who never fails to share his wisdom with us. Indeed. So this was the Odin's Sight spread. The deck is the Runic Tarot. And best of luck with you as you proceed into a new chapter in your life. Lots of options. Make sure the ones that you choose are the ones that you choose, not somebody else chooses for you. Take care, my friend, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.